Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. So happy to be here. Thank you for joining me. If you are joining me live, obviously you could be watching this on demand, but the magic happens when you watch live. So, welcome, welcome. So glad that you're here. My name is Joshua Harrell. If we have not met before, and this is Travel Marketeering Live. This is where we talk about how to systemize your approach to selling and marketing your travel products and services. The whole idea is that if it's a system, you can tweak the system. If it's art, that's a little more, you get inspired to do, right? And getting inspired to do doesn't necessarily move the needle. Sometimes it does, but it's not something you rely on. So here we talk about systems and making sure that we're constantly evolving as business owners, whether it is owning an agency or owning your book of business, it's all about owning it. And yeah, and just making it happen and continually evolving. All right, I do see someone in the chat, and I want to give it up to Rocky for joining me here. And he is sending me a TM. If you're in the know, you're in the know. That stands for travel marketeering. So if we hit on something, if there's something that you like and you're like, oh my gosh, that is good stuff right there, that is where we say TM. So TM to you, Rocky. Thank you for joining me live today. Yeah, we're going to have fun today. Today, we're going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart. As many of you, it will resonate with you, I no doubt. It's all about using content to generate leads. And we talk about it a lot. We talk about all marketeering, all the different aspects of it a lot. And I hope that over the last few weeks you've realized that we've tried to stay pretty spot on with trying to stay on topic because guys, I will talk to you about marketing and sales and service delivery until I don't know. I could do a live. I would go for hours. It would be like back in the day. It would be like a marathon, a telethon. That's what it'd be, because I love talking about it. But I'm trying to make sure that we're talking about things in chunks because otherwise it gets extremely overwhelming. And you know what? There's some of you out there that have great stories to share about specific aspects of marketeering. And I want to make sure that I give you some time to talk as well, although you're kind of talking through me. So, wherever you are, please join us in the chat. I see that Kathy is there. Let's see, Kathy, a TM back to you, Kathy. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Jennifer said, good afternoon. I am new as of yesterday. So, this is my first live with you from Bonita Springs, Florida. So Jennifer is a member of World Via Travel Network, and you know what? I let's see. Do I have a graphic? Look, Jennifer, that is for you. I don't know if I've used that one yet, but that is for you. Welcome and welcome to World Via Travel Network, and also welcome to Travel Marketeering. You are now officially a travel marketeer, and that is a very cool thing to be. And if you are new, then maybe you don't know, but we have a private Facebook group. I am very proud of it because when I see you guys collaborating in there, it makes my heart sing. It absolutely makes my heart sing. So if you want to join, it is free, of course, to join our Facebook group. But if you want to join, you just need to go to Facebook and search specifically travel marketeers. If you search travel marketeering, you are going to find a Facebook page about travel marketeering. And you're welcome to follow that page. But where the chatting is happening is in the Facebook group. Love to have you there. And everything I talk about today, I do have a presentation. Those of you who know that I'm not a fan of PowerPoint. So I try to do my best to capture these ideas into a presentation. But I do have this in a presentation, and right after the show, maybe 15 minutes after I get done with the show, I will upload the PDF of the presentation into the Travel Marketeer Facebook group so you can have it and you can go through it because we try to put a lot of good information in there, but you have to be a member of the Facebook group to get it. How's that? All right. Let's see. I think there might be. Oh, we got. Let's see here. Sorry, you guys. I get distracted easily, but Debbie is giving us a TM. Debbie, good to see you. And Jennifer, of course, you are very, very welcome. We are truly glad to have you here. And we're glad to have you. Uh, if you're brand new to starting your business or joining us in this world, this is a big step because there's loads of things that you can do in starting your travel agency. There's loads of things that you need to do, right? But the building of your brand and that brand strategy that ultimately leads into marketing and PR, all the things, right? It really starts with having an open dialogue with yourself, and we talk about that a lot here as travel marketeers. You've got to be true to yourself. If you try to be somebody else, you will. It's not even just imposter syndrome. It's just not something you can hold up. So I hope Jennifer and anyone else that's joining who's new, through today, you feel a little more confident in your marketeering prowess, because that is what we're here to do. And Ray has joined us. It looks like Texas. I'm not sure. Ray is giving me a pink hand waving, and the reason why I'm not going to put that on the screen, Ray, is because I tried to do that right before I got started, and my little chat device did not want to recognize the hand. So it comes back with hand hyphen pink hyphen waving. But I know what you did. I know what you did. All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit. We're gonna talk. So we're talking about content marketing and social media for lead generation. Now, some of you, I know for a fact, you are creating content. Some of that might be content that you're curating from other places, or you might be creating it as original content. So some of you are already creating content, but I need to back up for those of you who are not. Content is foreign. It's not something that you were thinking about. So let me just talk a little bit about content. Uh, Everything that you put out on your blog, your website, you put on YouTube, you put on Instagram, whatever, that is content. Whether you're doing it for your business or you're doing it for yourself personally, that is content. Uh, it really is, and we hear this now. A few years ago, it was you need to be an influencer, or we viewed influencers as like Paris Hilton. She was an influencer. She would still be considered an influencer. But if you notice, there's been this shift for a little while now into creators. And doesn't that sound brilliant, right? I am a creator, right? But that anyone creating content is a creator. So I want you to now. I'm gonna. Oh, I wish I had. If I only had like a sword or a wand to appoint you, I'm gonna just imagine that. But I have a feeling that if I say it loud enough, a wand or a sword will appear from Amazon in about 2 days. I just have a feeling with that. But I'm gonna anoint you as a creator, and I want you to step into your power as a creator. Now, I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're like, I am not a creator. I am not an influencer. This is not me. I need you to go with me on this journey because you are a creator. Say it with me. I am a creator. And you are going to create content. You have to create content. And why do you need to create content? Because all those little pieces, all those pieces on whatever platform you use on your website, all of those pieces that live anywhere, that is how people will discover you. Okay. It will also be how people who have found you, maybe they didn't find you on the web, but they found you. It's also how they will validate you. So even if I go to your hairdresser and your hairdresser said, "Oh, you need to talk to this guy," right? Even if I have that recommendation and I have the telephone number or I have your email address, I would say 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, before I call you, I am going to look for evidence that you exist first. And then second, I'm gonna look for evidence that you are the person I need to talk to about whatever it is I want to talk to you about. And I say it that way because I want you to connect with the way that you validate businesses and people that you want to work with. You are you're validating all the time, right? If it is the guy that will clean out your gutters, you it maybe you're looking for evidence of them on the web, or maybe you're looking for information about him on the apps, the neighborhood apps. We are constantly trying to validate and seek credibility for people that we are wanting to spend money with and spend time with. So that's not foreign to you. It's what you do right now. So I am shocked and amazed. I am just in complete and utter awe. And I don't know if you feel me on this, guys, but I am in a complete amazement when someone does not want to create content or does not want to embrace creating a blog or posting on social media. I'm just in awe of it. Now I get why someone who that is not what they have always done. I understand why that is a challenge, but to not want to do it is more alarming to me because how are you going to find clients? How are you going to make business happen if you don't get out there, right? If you don't get out there, it's the same way when, if you are somebody who wants to date, they always say you got to get out there, right? So whether that's a dating app or that's going to things, you have to put yourself out there. That's not a foreign concept. So in this whole you are now I've now said you are a creator. If you didn't believe that, you will create content. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the ways that you can create the content, and more importantly, how you can create this content with an end result of getting leads, generating those leads, people that can become a part of your world, people that you can nurture into becoming customers. That's what it's all about. Now I see a couple of chats coming in. I don't know what they are. Don't surprise me with your chats, guys. But I'm gonna pop over and do some chats before we tuck in. Let's see here. So Ray said, I plan to create a separate food, travel, and lifestyle blog vlog, and intertwine that with my travel business. Okay, Ray, love it. I love the idea of it. So here are some things, and Ray, if we haven't talked about this before, I just know I always have an opinion based on what I know right now. So my only words of caution or planting the seed for something for you to think about is that as you have your travel business, and I don't know how far along you are in that journey. Okay, that business takes a lot of your energy, your love, and your energy to create another brand, to have this food, travel, and lifestyle. I don't know why I keep wanting to say life cycle, lifestyle blog vlog. Um, to do that, it's going to take a lot more energy. It's going to take double the energy. Let's just imagine it that way. So, what I would say to you is, if depending on where you're at in both places, um, think about that intertwining as more of a seamless connection. Um, that where you are planting your flag as who you are showing up to the world as. should be the thing that you're going to generate the leads, you're going to interact with your future customers, and ultimately close the deal. So the reason why I say it that way is, again, I don't know your business, so I'm just imagining Ray's business. Okay, I'm going to say I would probably lean in on this lifestyle. I'm sorry, guys. This lifestyle brand that you're building, and make that the front of your travel business. So every all this content that you're creating is around attracting leads into your funnel for the travel business. Many people do things like this. It could be even selling, clothing or jewelry. People create those brands, to be able to attract people in, but essentially, it's your content engine, right? It's your content engine. You are creating this vlog in order to connect with people that are similar to your ideal customer. You're creating this content, they're coming in, they're mingling with you, they're getting to know you, they like you, Ray, they really like you, and they know it's not a secret, it's not just a little hidden banner ad somewhere. They know that you are a travel professional, and not only do you love all these things and you love sharing information and you love to inspire people, you craft these vacations that connect with all these things that they like and love about you already from your lifestyle brand. So, again, I don't know where you're at in the journey. I love where you're going. I just want you to think about how hard it is to be two different people in the public eye, essentially, right? Who are you? Who are you from a brand new person falling into your sphere? Are you the lifestyle editor, or are you the person who is loves to travel and loves all things food and designing a lifestyle, right? Are you this person all wrapped in one, or do are you two different people? Are you sometimes the travel professional, and are you sometimes the vlogger? Okay, those are just little bits of thoughts, and I'm happy to chat with you more about it. And Erica Worldvia just had to jump on to wish you all a happy Saturday, Marketeers, heading out to Port Canaveral for our quest. Sorry, I'm missing the convo today. So, if you don't know Erica Worldvia, that is Erica Scanelli, our director of member development. She creates all the Worldvia Academy content, both virtual and in person. She's one of my oracles of travel. She just knows the business so well. She is my trusted advisor, and right now she is with our director of agency development, who you might also know from our Elevate series. She does an Elevate series all about the dynamics of owning a travel business. Those are most Thursday nights. So you can definitely find out more about those on our Facebook page. But I they're both together. They're doing a quest with us on the NCL Aqua, with a bunch of our members. I'm so excited for them. I'm a little bit jealous, but you know what? I just can't take all the trips. I can't, it just can't be me. Maybe it could. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. Erica and Laura, I hope you guys have a grand time. And then, oh my goodness, it's Sandy. Sandy, good to see you. Thank you for joining me this Saturday. Sandy is one of our members, and she is fabulous and somebody I have mad respect for. This is a person who runs a very dynamic agency, and has been doing it for a while and is doing extremely well. So super proud of you, and I'm so glad that you are here. And feel free to chime in, Sandy, because I know you have thoughts on all these things. So very, very happy to have you here. All right, guys, let's tuck in before I move over to my presentation deck. I would love to know, out of you joining me live, who has a content strategy, meaning they've got a plan all the way around how they're going to use their content to generate leads, and how many people are just getting started, and then how many people haven't even there's nothing in place. Nothing is in place. So we got in motion with my strategy, just getting started, and haven't even it just isn't even a thing. So drop that in the chat. I'll pop over and check that out in just a minute. So let's dig in. Get to my button here. All right, there we are. So something that I want to I was gonna segue into this while I was talking a little bit earlier, but an interesting stat I found in preparing this for you guys. Um, is from various sources, but 32% of travelers are using social media for trip planning, and 62% are basing their booking decisions on online content. I just wanted to let that sit with you, because if you're in those early stages of building your content strategy, or even building your brand, right? It can be something that you put off to the side, like, "I'll get to it when I can get to it. I need a whole weekend to just get my head around it," right? So, and there's a whole bunch of you like that, so don't feel bad. You're not the only one. Believe me, you are not alone. But I think just thinking about those stats, it makes you think, "You know what? I can't afford to wait. I can't afford to wait," because think about how fast the internet and the content on the internet has accelerated how fast we get, the way that we do our research. I mean, the way that we contemplate things now is so different than 10 years ago, so different from 5 years ago. It's crazy how fast it goes. So, the basics of being a content creator and making sure that you have content out in the world is something that you need to embrace right away. But you don't have to do it on a big scale. You just need to embrace it. Once you do, then it's like you jumped into the river, because that river is flowing. It's going to keep on flowing, and you need to be flowing with it. Otherwise, you're just on the embankment looking at the river and it's moving on down. Okay. So let's jump into the river there. All right. So, your content strategy, these are your levers that you can pull today. Um, these are top level buckets, right? Because there can be some layers to this. But let's talk about blogs, right? It's not just about here's my story, right? It can be, and it should be, because you always want to infuse yourself in everything. But with your blog, think about destination guides. And I have a feeling when I say destination guides, you think, "Well, I there's no way I can document everything that there is to know and be done in Paris. Somebody else has already done that. Some, Expedia has already done that." Um, okay. All right, negative Nancy. Let's not go there, because I say it all the time. You are uniquely you. So if I wrote the 10 things I love to do in Paris, if I wrote that and say Sandy wrote that, I can guarantee you, even if we used AI, I'm just saying that's probably where I would go. Even if we used AI, our story would be so different. Okay. So don't, it doesn't have to be the most comprehensive guide to a city or any destination. It just needs to be showcasing your take on that. Now, if I committed to writing a blog every single month, I'm just saying once a month, that's 12 a year. If Paris was the only destination I was talking about, don't you think with the help of some prompts in I could write 12 blog articles about Paris? And even if I used AI to help me with that, I I'm the editor, right? I'm not just taking it, cut and pasting it exactly as it is, although I'll be honest with you. As I've been working with AI now for at least a year, um the outputs now versus the outputs I had a few months ago are so much better. And yes, I am the editor and I'm going to go through and infuse myself into it. I have to. I have to. I'm compelled to do it, right? Um I'm not having to edit as much as I once was doing, which is I think is a beautiful thing, right? It also helps me move faster. It's like Red Bull. It gives me wings. So I could create just with a destination like Paris, and that probably is not would if I were an agency owner, that's not gonna be my only specialty, right? But just to give you an example, I think you'd all agree that you could write 12 articles very easily about Paris, and it could be a destination guide, and by doing that, not only am I creating another page on the web, that then is something that search engines and AI tools can go and crawl, but then they can also serve that up, send me some traffic when they hit my blog. I hope my image. I hope that hooks them. I'm gonna do my best to make sure it does. And I want that content to be good because not only is it about getting that traffic and capturing, their attention so they stay for a little bit and maybe go to another page. Please, please go to another page. But when they read this article, they're listening to me. It's like, oh, did I just do that ASMR? Yeah. They have me in their ear. And I hope that I have, not only attracted somebody that is going to buy travel from me, but I hope that I attracted somebody who likes how I talk about things. Because again, if they landed on Sandy's website and they landed on my website and we're both talking about Paris, even the same, maybe the title of the article is exactly the same. My, humans are humans, right? So they might read mine or watch my video, right? And they're thinking, he's all right. Then they go to Sandy and they realize that Sandy is thinks about travel more like they do. And maybe she's infused some of her own anecdotes and things like that. And they're like, I like her style. So, two advisors, both talking about Paris, but Sandy for the win. Okay. And it had nothing to do, we both did the same things, but people like what they like, and they're going to find you, but you have to if that article was never written, then they would have gotten to me, and Sandy would have never been an option. Sorry, Sandy. So you see, I'm gonna harp on this a little bit just because you gotta remember, guys, I work with thousands of agency owners and advisors, and I hear the same things over and over again, that people know what to do, but finding the time to do it, or, I'm not sure what will work. I'm telling you what will work. I need you to do it. Okay. That's a little tough marketeering love from your chief travel marketeer. Okay. So, and if any of you have had success with blogs, drop that in the chat. I want to hear. Okay. So again, your blog content getting crawled by both search engines because that was what we all did. It was all about the search engines crawling, and now it's about these AI tools. And the good news about AI tools also jumping in and crawling your website is the principles that you apply to creating content, especially content that's living on your website, to optimize for search engines is very much the same. It's very much the same. You need those phrases. You need content that supports the what you're talking about. You need all the great things for both search engines and for AI tools. The thing that we're finding more with AI tools is it's grabbing what Sandy wrote and it's summarizing that really quick for for their users. So when they're doing that, if they take this whole 800 word article that Sandy wrote and they're summarizing it, then she's got to make that a good article, not for AI, right? Like we're not writing for artificial intelligence. We're writing for humans. We're telling good stories. We're telling stories that are true to us. When those AI tools are coming in, they're gonna summarize you. They're gonna summarize that content. So, having the content and infusing yourself in it is gonna help you win on those platforms. And guys, it's only gonna progress. You know, I was just talking about how fast things have changed and how it's different the way that we find validate people we wanna work with. It's only going faster. Everything is going at the speed of light. Doesn't that sound like it's scary? It is kinda scary, I guess. It's scary in a good way, right? It's the unknown. But think about the things that you used to have to do that took so long, and it's getting faster. It's getting faster. Getting faster means there's more chances for innovation. More innovation. I'm really going to go down a rabbit hole here. More innovation. People make more money. They have more time to go on trips. Therefore, your clients have more opportunities to work with you. I don't know. That wasn't my AI pitch, but it was something. Um, going back to this, let's talk about videos. Okay, videos. Immersive destination videos. Those are those are wonderful when you can make them, and some of us can't make them. Some of us only get to Europe, maybe never. Right? It might be something that doesn't happen very often. Right? So when you are traveling, you need to capture content, and I love one of our members who spends a lot of time creating content, and he does it even though he's super busy already, but he knows that he needs the content for his brand strategy. It works for him. But something that he does, and I highly recommend it, is he just keeps taking photos, keeps taking videos. He's not thinking about posting that right then and there because if he did that, it would take away from his experience, right? And he doesn't want to do that because that's part of what he gives his clients. So he captures all this content and then he works on it later. And then he finds things that he wants to use at different times. I think that's a beautiful thing. So creating that content, video content while you're out and about, it's beautiful. Um, then the idea of bringing them into your I don't wanna say web because that sounds scary. It's not your web, but bringing it into your world. Yes, you can take B-roll, that's just the footage of things without any talent in front, right, or spokesperson. You can shoot all that stuff, but even if you, even when you put that content out, you put some fun music to it. Maybe you put some music, maybe Ray puts, more, like, dance vibes. If he's looking at the beach, it could look like any beach in the Caribbean, right? It could look like any beach, but he puts dance beats, and maybe Kathy puts, she puts more serene, no, I feel like she might say, "Do you like piña coladas?" I don't know, it might be something like that. So though that's a way to share your world. It could be the same video content, but sharing your world. So if you don't have any of that video content, video is still king when it comes to that kind of content that you can consume quickly from devices or even your TV. Right, video is king. But if even you're using supplier videos, how can you make those more you, right? Could you do an intro before you kick over to the video? I mean, there's some creative things that you can do, and they don't cost anything to do. They just cost time. And what I hear over and over from different agency owners that I work with is that yeah, it takes time, but they keep getting better at it. So the thing that used to take a lot of time before, it doesn't take a long time now. Now what's taking them time is because they feel so comfortable doing that. Now they've gone on and they're doing other things, which I think is a beautiful thing. Now, mind you, if you have a steady stream of business, you are working on proposals from morning until night, you are living the entrepreneur dream, right? You're busy. I don't expect you to stop everything to do this type of work to create this content. I would love for you to create that content, or if you're at a place where maybe you can hire someone freelance to help you create this. The thing I always get concerned about when someone says they're super busy, they don't have time to do any marketing or outreach to generate leads for themselves. The thing I always get worried about with that is, and I've seen it in my own life, at some point when you just work with who you've got, there's this natural drop off of client engagement. And then it starts to get a little quiet. And the big challenge there is you hadn't been nurturing people and pulling new people into your world, so you're essentially starting over. You still have those regular clients, but maybe you're not hearing from them as often. So I always want you to find a balance. In the beginning, when you're just getting started, it's all about generating leads. But as you start to get busier, it becomes harder. Just carve out an hour, 2 hours each week to do some of this travel marketeering, and structure it so it can be. It's going to be work. It's not just playing Lego. It's not. It's still work. But if you can carve out a little time to make sure that you can touch the systems that you've got in place, I think you will feel more confident that that stream will keep flowing. And that's an important thing. Wow, I really got off track there. I apologize. Getting them connected to your world, that does increase their desire to book with you. And with social posts, here's where I think it's um it's interesting. I say it's interesting. It's interesting to me. So I've been in marketing and I've been an entrepreneur for many, many years. And I got to work for a brand, a consumer brand that no one had heard of before. It had stores that had been around since the 70s, but really nobody had heard of it. But we, at the time, so this would have been mid 90s, we started doing stuff that it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was like, it wasn't out of the box marketing, but we had to do grassroots things. We did not have a budget to do things. And it was really all about connecting with potential customers on the web back then, and it wasn't easy on the web back then. But that drive to help our business succeed, it made us get creative. So what the reason why I said I find it interesting is that I know was not what our competitors were doing at the time. But it's interesting because we started to get success, or we started to see success. And then the things that we had done, people were trying to copy those things. And now fast forward many, many years, and now I'm looking at things like TikTok and the way that content is being created there versus the other platforms. It's everyone, every platform has its own identity. But what I'm seeing now is some of that same very behind the scenes, very unproduced content that is hooking me in. So much so that it's hooking me in on products that I know I could I could have always gotten. But for some reason, the way that I'm seeing real people talking to me about these products, it feels different. It hits different. And now my journey in discovering brands and discovering people that I find interesting is it's a different angle. Before I used to scroll through, Instagram, or if, somebody would share something on Facebook. Now that's not it. I need to discover it on my own in TikTok. And what is attractive to me, and this is kind of my whole point with talking about how we had to enter chat rooms to try and connect with, potential customers back in the '90s. Um, it's the behind the scenes content around some of these brands or some of these, creators that is getting me hooked. And it's not just getting me hooked, because this is not the world according to me. It is they are seeing great success. So I've seen cosmetic lines, that was my former life, as being in cosmetics. I'm seeing cosmetic lines who would have never done a vertical video, just blah, 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 I'm talking, right? Would have never done that. They're crushing it on TikTok, and then that's trickling over into other platforms and ultimately leading to sales. And so, behind the scenes content, great, great stuff, easy to do. It's not a well, I say it's easy, it's not as hard as you think it is, right? And something I'm seeing, I've been seeing this with Disney advisors, and, who was it? I was just seeing somebody, actually, it probably was Paris. Somebody was doing Paris. They are going live on TikTok, or, Instagram Live, and they're just talking about their passion. And it is not produced at all. It does not have fantastic lighting, but they are holding these chat rooms, going back to my experience in the '90s, they're holding these chat rooms up, and people are talking and talking and talking about their subject. And what would that person who is a specialist in either of those things do? They would love to talk about their specialty. They would love to share their experiences. If they didn't do it via the platforms that they're doing it on, they'd be waiting for someone to start a conversation with them, maybe filling out an inquiry form, right? They're touching tens, 20s, hundreds of people on these platforms, and it costs them nothing but time, because they already had the expertise, they already had the passion. So I don't wanna gloss over behind the scenes content, because you can either create it as live content, you could create it, as I've even seen, advisors take a photo of, the final documents for, they're holding the final documents maybe in an envelope that they've prepared for their client, and they don't say who the client is, but they're like, "I just wrapped up a beautiful 14-day trip in the Mediterranean, and I'm so excited. I can't wait for photos." That content right there, they see. I'm sure the person who's traveling is following them on social, so they can jump in on that. But it makes all of the people who run into that piece of content, it makes them all know that I can put together a beautiful trip in the Mediterranean. And okay, so I've just planted that seed, and then it also gets people to put comments in or interact with the post or even DM saying that they love the Mediterranean or they want to go to the Mediterranean. It just creates activity. And activity, subliminally, we just all want to know that people are tuned in and share passions, and maybe 14 people make a comment, and the person who actually reaches out and puts an inquiry in never even jumped on that thread, but it was that thread that got them to contact you. Again, if the content wasn't made, it wouldn't have happened. So create that mix of content, that gets the if you think about the content that you're creating on social, get them to get to know you before they make a purchase. If you make that your focus, not selling the Avalon cruise that's on special promotion right now. Don't if that's going to get in your way. Don't think about getting so many inquiries on that particular promotion. Make your goal, make it your mission to get whoever comes across the content your content, whether they are followers of yours or they're just people who randomly get served your content. Get them to get to know you. That should be your focus. So if you follow me on social media, oh, that's a plug. If you follow me on social media down below, if you follow me on my social media, you're going to see a hot mess of stuff. I'm just going to tell you. I do not apologize for being me because there's only one me in this galaxy and I am an endangered species. So we need to capture this, okay? But if you follow me on any social media platform, I know, I know, because I've heard it and I strive for it. I know that you're going to get to know me. Now, you might not like me. I'm just saying, you might not like me, but the idea is I want you to get to know me. I hope that you like me. If you're here, I hope that you like me. But I'm just saying, I just want you to get to know me because if you don't get to know me on my social, then what am I putting out there in the world? And that's really my point. What if you're not demonstrating who you are and thus who your company brand is, then nobody's going to have they're not going to think about you. And we need people to think about you. All right, I'm going to go over. I see we got some chat, maybe some answers to my questions. Um let's see here. Oh wow, we got lots going on here. Thank you guys for jumping in. Let's see. So Rocky, he's with Flights and Fables. He says that he was answering my question. Do you have a content strategy? Do you have one that's just getting rolling or not at all? So he was answering that question. He says he has one thanks to one of the travel marketing sessions, and it's pretty robust and thought out. Rocky, will you drop your social media handles in the chat so everybody can see it and follow you? Because I did want to, not because you got it from one of the travel marketeering sessions, but I, I want to acknowledge the fact that even though I have tuned in to your social for a while now, I have noticed that you are signaling what you sell maybe more than you were previously. And what you were doing previously was not bad. It's just I'm now noticing your content landing your niche. So I'd love for everybody to go and look at Rocky's social media handle. So if you want to drop that in the chat, that would be great. But you could also look for Flights and Fables travel. I'm sure you'd find it. But just check it out and follow him for sure. But it's I that is something that I do love about what I get to do because I have followed so many advisors as they've started their journey, and then I can see when some of them are making some changes. Maybe they're pivoting altogether, or maybe they're just enhancing things. And Rocky is one where I'm like, yeah, I can tell you're signaling what you sell, and that is extremely important. Has anybody thought about that before? Do you signal what you sell? Because a lot of people don't. A lot of people signal that they are a travel advisor. And that's hey, that's great. At least people know you're a travel advisor. But a lot of people don't actually signal what they sell specifically. And that is a miss because if you've been doing this for a little bit, I'm sure you've gotten some of those inquiries where somebody they want you to do a proposal for a type of trip that you don't even do, you don't want to do. That's not you. And this doesn't mean that you weren't signaling what you sell, but if you've been in those situations and you don't feel like you've signaled what you sell, then maybe this is the time to consider that. You've got to make it clear to people what your passion is because they're going to buy into that passion. They want that passion. I mean, think about it. If I was going to go to Miami I don't want somebody who has never been to Miami, or actually, I don't care if they haven't been to Miami, but if they just can't be bothered with Miami, like they just don't, they'll service me anyway. No, I want the person who's like, oh my gosh, I love Miami. Oh, and there's this little Cuban coffee place, and everybody makes Cuban coffee a little different, but this is the one I like. I That's the one that I love, right? That's the one that's gonna make me excited about my trip. So signaling what you are passionate about, so important for that connection, but then also in lead generation. I need to know what I come to you for. And don't let's not give people extra credit because we're all humans. Just because you say you sell travel or you're a travel pro doesn't mean that people understand what you do. So we got to be more in your face and make sure that people know what it was, or what it is. All right, I wanted to make sure that Rocky had put his handles in. So I'm very proud of you, Rocky. Flights and Fables is his handle everywhere. So go follow him everywhere. It really is. I fortunately, I've been able to watch him as he's gotten started, but, I can tell right now I know what he does, and I knew what he does, but, anyway, he also said, "Before was just sporadic, LOL. I've noticed a definite increase in views and engagement since implementing my strategy." That's brilliant. I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, do I have, like, I think I have, there we go. They're toys. They're toys. It's a Saturday. I can have fun. But I'm glad that you were saying that you're noticing it, because I find whenever you make a shift, you make any kind of change in anything that you do, right? It isn't until you see something that happens as a result. It's not gonna be It might not be an inquiry coming in, but you see more people liking it than ever before. Oh, somebody made a comment. Oh, that's brilliant. Somebody shared it on their story. It's just like little things like that get you back in the game. And then you look back a few months later and you're like, wow, that little thing I did has turned into something more. It's completely changed what I do. All right, let's see here. Want to come back to the chat? Wow, wow, lots of chat going on. So Debbie says, I use Branch Up, but other than that, I'm mainly posting when I travel. So not a great strategy. Well, Debbie, and not a strategy, right? It's something that you do. That is something that you do. It isn't you're doing it because that's the flow, right? But you're not saying I do this at these times for X reason. You're saying, hey, when I travel, I capture, and then if I don't travel, I'm not capturing anything, and maybe you're still posting, and you would be posting. So if you're not familiar with Branch Up, it's a service that will tie up to your social handles, and it will automatically post for you. So it's brilliant in the sense that it can keep content flowing for you, and that consistency does help a lot. So that's great. The only thing I don't like about anything like that, and when I say I don't like it, it's not that I wouldn't use it, it's just that I would need to make sure that I am putting my own content in, is that content is more general content, right? It's not your personality, it's not your perspective. So if you can marry tools like that with your own content, sprinkle your own content in, that's really my happy place, right? You got constant content flowing, great imagery flowing, and then boom, there's Debbie's personality. Boom, there's Debbie's personality. I need that. So I love that. Now, Debbie, when you said that you travel and then that's when you are posting, that's great. Do it, but don't think that that is the last time that needs to go out on your social, because it doesn't. And if maybe 3 people engaged with that piece of content when you were traveling, I'm just guessing, I don't know, then there's a chance that if you brought a bit of that content back, more people will see you now because your audience has grown over time. So, bringing content back, very, very helpful. It doesn't have to be something it doesn't have to be a throwback Thursday or a flashback Friday. It doesn't have to be just on those days you bring some content back. Find your story, find what you wanna tell, find what you wanna repurpose, and get it out there. But you have the content. I'm an iPhone user. I'm sure that wasn't gonna surprise anybody that I love, that I love that tool, but or not or that brand. But with the iPhone, it's so easy for me in photos to just have create a folder right when I'm on the go, and I'm sure that's the same for any device now. But I'm just saying I've been in iPhone for a really long time, so I create all these folders, and it's just all the photos that I take and all the videos that I take while I'm traveling. I dump those in a folder. It has the year, and then it has the destination, and now I can go back and I can if someone says, "Oh, do you have anything about Cancun?" Boom, I can go right to my Cancun. I can relive some of those memories, but it's very easy for me to get to that content and create new content with it. So yeah, create those folders. Don't be scared to repurpose the content. It is extremely helpful to do that. Now, Sandy answering the question as well. She's developed her strategy over time, and continuing to develop. Love that. So important to listen to others in the industry and hear different approaches. Can I get a TM, guys, for Sandy on that? Oh, absolutely. You have to listen to others. You sometimes you don't, and often you don't have to copy what others are doing, but listening, keeping your ears and your eyes open, you will capture, uh, either it could be something that you would want to copy, or you get inspired to do something that you wouldn't have done, and you're like, "Oh, I like the way that Rocky did that, but that really wouldn't work for me, but it does make me think I could do this." You can't if you don't have your eyes and ears open, you're not gonna get that inspiration, right? It's just not gonna naturally zap into your brain and then you've got it. No, you gotta keep your eyes and ears open, and I think I'm a busybody. I am a busybody. I have my ears and eyes open all the time. And I'm judgy too. Oh, I'm judgy. I know I am. But the thing is me being judgy is me being engaged. So it's not just flowing past me. It's I'm absorbing it. And my judgment is actually me putting some kind of a marker, a little memory marker on it, and I'm going to remember it later. I went through the where was it? It was like maybe it was like the Salt Lake City airport, and I was working on a brand that a sub brand that, I could not come up with, the look and feel. I just felt like every look and feel that I was coming up with looked like something that we had already done before. And I had multiple people who were working on it and trying to be inspired. I think we were all in the same place. I am walking through the airport, it was Salt Lake City, and I don't know. Do you guys do this when you land in an airport? Do you feel very fabulous like you're a celebrity? I do. I don't know. I guess that's how I get in the mood to get through the airport. I just have to be like, yes, I'm J Lo. I'm J Lo. I'm J Lo, and it just kind of makes me get in the mood to be in that place. I think I just revealed too much by telling you guys that, but I'm just saying. I was in my like J Lo mode, and I turned and looked at the this back wall in a restaurant, and they had their logo on the wall, and the color was like a teal, and it was on white brick. I remember that, but it had a style, and the moment I saw it, I was like, that's my inspiration. I need that. That's what we're gonna do." That wasn't a social media post. It wasn't a video, but that being open, having my eyes open in every situation, I didn't know I was gonna get design, branding inspiration from walking past this restaurant, and it was a restaurant. It wasn't a travel related thing. It was a restaurant. Again, it just I had my eyes open, got the inspiration, and then boom, something happened. So listen to Sandy's advice. Very, very important. And yeah, I can see I'm getting you guys thinking about how ridiculous I am. I get that. Let's see here. Let me pop over here. You guys are helping me not have to show my presentation because you're covering some really good things. So Jennifer said, I can't figure out how to create my content. My focus is on special needs autistic travel autistic is on special needs autistic travel. Okay. So Jennifer, I'm glad that you made this comment. Okay. How to create the content is not it cannot be the challenge. I don't think that that's the challenge. I think you know how to do it, right? You are going to hit record. You're going to take a picture. You're gonna write the tweet. You're gonna. I think you know that. I think what you're getting to is how to create content that will signal what you sell. That's what I feel you're saying there. I could be wrong, but let me tell you this: I know that you chose this specialty because of either experience, passion, or really seeing a need, something a space where you could deliver value in the world. You wouldn't. Nobody chooses. Well, I say nobody chooses specialty willy nilly. Some people do. Some people do. Some people say, "Oh, there's a lot of money in that. I've never done it. I don't really like it, but I will do that." I think that's a very hard thing to keep up. But I'm going to say you probably were passionate about special needs and autistic travel, and you have a story there. There is a story there. That's your content. You need to tell the story. You need to tell them. You need to tell the world, even if no one is listening right now. You need to tell everybody the story, why this is the thing that you do, why this is. Even share some of the things that you think are would help families with travelers who with special needs or autism. Right? You tell the stories that would matter to them, or that you think would be interesting to them. Also, tell them the stories that can help them connect to you. And I say this because, and I say this with a little conviction, because it works for anything. It works for river cruising. It works for touring South America. It works in every situation, telling people why and just expressing the passion. But I know an advisor who is wildly successful, and that is their specialty too. Um, and what she does, and she does travel beyond special needs and autism, but when she talks about her personal experiences and the families who she's been fortunate to work with, when she tells some of the stories about different things that they had to navigate, or the way they structure a day to make sure everybody has a good time, um, that kind of advice, and she gives that freely, right? That helps people maybe who didn't believe that they could travel, or do the things that maybe they wanted to do because there was a special consideration. It makes them see, "Oh, yeah, we can," and they get inspired, and there might be things that tips and tricks that she gives them that has nothing to do with them booking a trip with her, but she is their trusted advisor. And when I say trusted advisor, I'm not saying just a trusted travel advisor. I'm saying she is somebody that they listen to, uh, maybe an influencer, one might say. So I challenge you, Jennifer, to and this is going to be this is an exercise, and anybody can jump in on this exercise. I host these social media expeditions around specifically Walt Disney World. It's just an easy one for us to do, but I go around and I teach tips and tricks around creating content on the go, right? And the very last thing I do is, and it's maybe a group of 7 people. The last thing that we do is we sit at these benches opposite, tables and benches opposite the Tower of Terror, which is now something else. Why I'm not thinking of the name of it. Anyway, so we sit and everybody has to go live. They just have to hit live. Nobody might watch, and we can't look at them while they're recording. Everybody has to go one at a time. But the the thing that they're doing is just getting comfortable going live. And it starts with, "Hey, guys, I just wanted to go live, and I wanted to talk to you about this type of travel that I do and some of the trips that I'm putting together." Da 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 da. And believe me, everybody, when we're doing this in the expedition, they all want to stop going live as fast as possible, and that is absolutely fine. Because the goal there was just to go live. But what I have heard happens, and I've also witnessed it, but what I've heard happens is that after they get the first like, the sentences that they were forced to do, they were compelled to do, once they do that, then they start to string together a few more words, and then a few more words, and then a few more sentences. And then all of a sudden, 1 minute turned to 10 minutes, turned to 30 minutes, turned to 45, and now they're on for 3 hours. I don't know. I'm just saying, uh, it all starts with just either going live or recording or, capturing that moment with a photo or capturing it in a tweet. Just start telling your story and making sure that that gets out into the world, okay? That's how you're gonna create that content that is going to it's not gonna happen overnight. You're not gonna get a bunch of likes, you're not gonna get a bunch of requests, but down the road, as you're consistent, you will start to see that. You'll start to get DMs. Then you'll get somebody hit your website and they say, "Oh, I saw the video you did where you were talking about this." And I'm gonna tell you, it's almost I can't say it's like clockwork, but I'm gonna tell you, I have seen it more times than you would believe. It always happens. It always happens. Again, you have to be open, you have to be doing, you can't just be, doing it sporadically. You have to be doing. Once you do, that is one of the most rewarding things ever. So, I hope that helps, Jennifer, but don't get me wrong, I do know that just getting started is tough. So Rhonda said that her content strategy is in motion and modifying often. I love that, Rhonda. Thank you. That's what guys, that's what it's all about. You're not looking for perfection here, but analysis paralysis is a real thing, and you gotta get in there and you gotta start. Once you start to find out what you don't like doing, what you just no matter how hard you try, it's just not gonna happen. But when you do it, you're like, "Okay, let me figure out a different way to do this." The option is never to stop altogether. It's to find out how you creator that you are and that you need to be, and deliver massive value. How do you get them to know you? So I love that. Let's see. Kimberly said, "I am just getting started with the content, but I've been working with a social media optimizer friend, and she helped me lay out a cadence, topic starters, holidays to link to travel ideas, etc. I hope it will give me a boost into content posting and engagement." Kimberly, where's my love? Fantastic, Kimberly. This is a great idea, guys, and it's actually part of what I was going to talk about. You guys are killer. I love it. Um, get, Mapping out your content ideas is the most daunting thing I think I have ever done. And no matter when, well, I guess not now at all, because now what I do is I go to my AI tool at Worldvia. We have one called Avia that I use all the time. But I go in and I put in my little prompt and I say, I need 30 posts. Or wait, I know I set up. I tell them who I am. I am a travel professional who specializes in blah 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 travel. My favorite destinations are da 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 da. The things I like to do are da 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 da. I need 30 social media post ideas for the month of August. And right now is the time for people to talk to me and book X type of vacation, right? Those are the inquiries that I feel like right now I should be processing, I should be working on. And I let it go, and in, I guess, seconds, I have 30 posts. Now, are all of those camera ready? No, they're not. But I would have never come up with 30 that would have been as diverse. And again, I can play the editor and I can go in and figure out what I would tweak. And oftentimes, more than often, I see ideas that I would have never even thought of, and I just need to maybe reconfigure it a little bit to make it work. Most of the time, I will get ideas on what reels I should make, so the little short form videos. I've even gotten, or if I haven't gotten them in that posting format, I've asked for give me some questions that I can answer on a live that because again when you're live, I mean you're happy if people are chatting with you, but if no one's chatting with you, you got to keep the story going. So having some questions that I can either read to camera or I read off camera and then I provide answers for, it's a great way for me to tell a compelling story. So that coming up with the ideas, whether you are using a calendar where you're taking different holidays or things like that and referencing those, which you can do a mixture of everything, right? You can have a little bit of that and you can have a little bit of this content where you're telling your story or telling a story that your audience needs to hear. And if they're not your audience yet, people do go back and look at other posts and things like that to get to know somebody. So don't wait for an audience to happen. You got to create the content for an audience to show up. Okay. So Kimberly, I know it's gonna help you and I'm so excited. Um so Debbie has asked the question, has anybody hired out a social media manager? So if anybody has, jump in. Debbie, I can tell you that I know many people who haven't hired a social media manager, but they've hired a virtual marketing person. Like a fractional marketing manager or a marketing specialist, or even gotten a virtual assistant that will help with social content. So some of them have rave reviews. They're so happy with them. The ones I will give you, here's a tip for everybody. Uh, the ones that seem to be the most happy with their assistants or fractional marketing people are the ones that put together their strategy first. So they sat down and said, maybe it's not, maybe it's more of a strategy document. They've sat down and said, this is what I want. These are the social media accounts that I get inspired by. They don't necessarily have to be in travel. They could be things that you just like and enjoy the entertainment value. Um, but prepare that information so when you hire someone who is not embedded in your business, they can quickly get up to speed and start adding value to your business. So that's just a little bit of advice. It's not something that takes a month to prepare for. It's something where you can just sit down and say, okay, these are the social accounts I love. These are the goals that I have. And this is what I'd like to see. Be very, very direct about what you would like to see, because that's where you'll find most creatives can add the most value, is when you have given them the guardrails. You've said, this is what I want to see. This is how I will know if it's good. And having something that they can be tied into so they know how to make it good. Very, very important. And Kathy, I love this. You guys are crushing it here. Kathy said, I do a blog post a week. And let's see, do I even have any? Oh, I thought I did. Oh, oh, it kind of was very quiet. I had sound effects. I don't know if you guys heard it. Let's see. One more. Wow, my sound effects are not working today. I was trying to give you applause, Kathy. But no, that's fantastic. A blog post a week, and Kathy, I do believe you have shared with me that you use AI to help you craft your blog articles. I hope I'm not telling tales out of school because I do believe you have shared that with me. And here she has the confidence to know, "Hey, I've got blog content that is flowing." And whenever you're creating blog content, it's not something that you get those hearts or DMs. It's something that is a long game. So all of these things, whether it's creating video content, creating blogs, creating, social media content, it's a universe of content that you want to employ. And it's not a quick fix, but it does pay dividends over time. And when is the best time to start? Yesterday. Okay? So if you haven't started, I need you to start, but you have to be consistent and you have to keep it going. That means if you are a true travel marketeer, you have to carve time out for you to do this work. So, Kathy, if she does use AI tools, which I think she does, and she does a blog post a week, then in 30 minutes every month, she use AI to generate the idea and the first draft of the blog. She can go and edit it. She grabs a picture, boom. She can schedule it to be published at the set time that she wants it to go that it can be published. So that has now taken her blog writing responsibilities and said gave it a finite amount of time. It can be done in 30 minutes, and it needs to be done the third Thursday of every month prior to the month that it's going to be posted. I'm just creating up a random schedule here. But you see, I'm doing there. I'm just trying to make sure that it always gets done. It's got its own space, and therefore it will keep on plugging away. From those blog posts, she can create many. She can break down those blog posts into 3, 7 social posts that bring bits of that story to life. So now it has more chances to live out in the world. Try to maximize the work that you're doing, get the most out of it so you're not reinventing the wheel all the time. Um, let's see. Sandy said, my niece has just started taking it over for me in the past few months. She is a millennial and has always been into social media. So it's absolutely a good fit. This is brilliant. It- I mean, many of us have somebody in their life that is passionate about, in this case, marketing. They're passionate about marketing. They're plugged in. They see the ideas. They're entertained by the things, right? Um, and that might not be the thing that you have time for. So giving them an opportunity to play with this, to experiment, especially social media, the opportunities there to play. We need to give ourselves the permission to play there because the people who are playing, even big brands who you would never imagine would play in social media, they do. And they're seeing great results. The ones that aren't seeing great results are the ones who can't play. And that, I think, speaks to their overall culture as a company and maybe even the future of that company. I don't know. I don't wanna be like like I'm a fortune teller, but I'm just saying, I think it's an interesting thing, the companies that and I'm sure you've seen it too, the companies who failed to jump in and play, and now they're trying to play, and you're like, "Oh, look at you. That is so cute. I am so glad that you just started to show up. I can't wait to see what you do, but you are kinda late to the game." So let's see. Oh, see, this is the challenge when I go back to the chat because you guys are commenting on things I don't remember what I was talking about. But I love it. Keep it coming. I want to make sure I hit a few more things. And guys, the presentation deck that I have here is one, like I said, that you can get in the Travel Marketeers Facebook group. So if you haven't joined that, oh, I can put that up on the screen. If you haven't joined that yet, please search on Facebook for Travel Marketeers, and I'll get you added before I post it up there. But I'm going to post up the PDF of the presentation, which has some more notes in there. We try to put as much content in there as possible. I'll also make sure that if no one shows up, I've got something to talk about. So got some good information there. I wanted to share something that if I that I found very interesting this week. I heard a marketing person somewhere. I don't know where it was. Um, but I heard a marketing person say something very interesting about TikTok in particular. I know I keep harping on TikTok, but I was very, very late to the TikTok game. So they said something very interesting, and a few months ago I did a test. If you follow me on TikTok, you would have seen it. I dumped in a bunch of clips from travel marketeering because, hey guys, this is the thing I do. I talk about sales, marketing, and service delivery. That's my life. That's what I'm most passionate about. So I took a bunch of clips from these shows that I had done and just dumped them on TikTok. And uh, I just couldn't believe it. I There was so many comments from people I didn't even know were following, like people I knew in real life that were following me. I had no idea they were following me, and the conversations that sparked because I did that was I it just really blew my mind. So that was a test I had done, basically because I had heard something about the way. I'm sure you guys had this back if you've been on Facebook for a while. um, when people didn't when they had a post go up every time they uploaded a picture to an album, we would all sit and watch a gazillion posts come through about Aunt Debbie's vacation, and you're like, Aunt Debbie, I don't need every single photo to be a post, right? So I remember that being a thing. I remember a lot of jokes being made about that. Like that's every single photo was having its own post. So we've all been trained to not just dump a bunch of content in one go and then walk away. But I had heard something about TikTok where it doesn't matter when you post the content because the algorithm is based on the user, and when the user wants to receive that content, what they're in the mood for, what kind of content they're absorbing right now. Is your content the right fit for them? Because at the end of the day, TikTok is trying to keep people on their platform. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the user because they sell advertising space, they have products on TikTok. So it's all about keeping people on the platform. So they're not going to present Aunt Debbie's photos in order. That's not going to happen. They're going to send those to me over time. That also means that I might not see some things for 3 months. So anyway, I did the video dump, and I'm so glad I did because I had no clue how that was going to be received. I did hear from somebody who was paying attention to my profile closely, and they were like, "Oh, your grid is taken over by this one thing," and I appreciated the comment. But overall, I was exposed to more people, and more people within my audience uh, knew what I was talking about, or they were excited about this travel marketeering thing that I've been doing for a while now. So I thought that was pretty cool. My whole point to telling you this is what this marketing person said was you need to think about TikTok as where you are introduced to people. So it's like a mixer, and it is presenting you to people all over the place. They're not connected to you. They don't really care about your followers. That's just not something that they care about on TikTok. But when they present you to somebody, it's basically an introduction to you. And then what I loved about the following statement is they said, well, the statement is, look at Instagram like your living room. So you meet the person at TikTok, then they get to know you better on Instagram, and they can know you even more on Facebook. And I just loved that little analogy of this is the mixer and this is the your living room, because it's a different vibe. Instagram, I can tell a more curated story. I have the mixture of photos and videos, and the way I can consume that is very much like a website. But TikTok is like little commercials on TV. They're just the attention span is just moving so fast. So the reason why I tell you this is I'm sure you've heard YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. So you need video content. Video content where people are searching, pretty important. Uh, but this introducing people to introducing brands to new people via TikTok is a thing, and it's a thing that if you're not currently there, even on a very limited scale, you're missing out on. Don't miss out on it. Like, things change so fast. A few years ago, we didn't even know what TikTok was. So, things move pretty fast. I'm sure it's going to it's going to fall out of favor and we're something else. But right now, this is hot. Everyone's talking about it and people are seeing good results with this. So, jump in, make it a part. Again, it can be a small part, but make sure you're at the mixer because if you're not at the mixer, you're not going to meet the people. And then on YouTube, just to hit back on that, um, the before I guess it was last night, I was flipping through and I was on YouTube and I ended up I don't know what got into my search feed. It was all about finding a home in Orlando for some reason. So that was an interesting little rabbit hole I went down. But then, later on in the night, I got, the neighborhoods of Greater Atlanta area. So it was a real estate agent who, is going to tell people about the different areas within, Atlanta. And knowing I was gonna come here and talk to you, I thought, "I've got to tell these guys about this." Let me just say, she shot this video on her phone. I'm not judging it. I'm just wanting to acknowledge the fact that she created content. I did not search for her. I didn't even search for the topic, although it ended up being something I was interested in. But she created content that answered a specific question, and that the answer that she had, the question that I had, it it was going to put her in front of somebody that could potentially be a good fit for her. Now,